Good morning, freedom fighters. It is 9:10 a.m. Alaska time, which makes it 1:10 p.m. Florida East Coast time, and that is 1 a.m. Philippine time where my dad lives, which he is very much asleep right now, as I am just waking up good. But we are looking back at a toxic geoengineering aerosol atmospheric spraying injection, whatever y'all want to give it, whatever name you want to give it, but it's chemtrails, toxic chemicals being released in the atmosphere to cloud out the sun. Undeniable evidence we have. But these chemicals not only spread out and cover the sky, they fall back to the earth, and I want to show you the Heavy Chemtrail Fallout videos I created this winter in Florida from a shrimp boat 6 nautical miles offshore to a commercial net fishing boat that I have in Florida that I run inshore. The videos are taken from November through January of spraying activities. But let's put this into motion here, and you can kind of see what I zoomed in on, and then I'll show you the heavy fallout videos as well. This is a little local beach. It's right by my house that I have been going to since I was a child. There used to be acres of fiddler crabs. I can walk out here and there's not a fiddler crab, not hardly a bird in the tree, and I noticed the trees were dying when I looked at the video. There were some dead mangrove trees. I have no idea why they're dead. But stand by, let me show you the fallout itself. First, I want to show you a video of Alaska being put out, the sun being put out. Just in 3 hours this day, where we have no air traffic, they put out the sun. They have completely put out the sun, guys. Unbelievable what they're doing today. Unbelievable. Either you're a paid troll or you're completely ignorant of the situation, and being ignorant is extremely dangerous. They have put out the sun. It was blue skies this morning. Blue skies no longer. Standing by. I just want to show you a brief second what it looks like over in satellite. This was back in this winter in Florida. Some of the heaviest trailing we've ever seen. Every one of these passes, these lines, is aircraft. One of the largest operations I've ever witnessed. Unbelievable crisscross lines over Georgia. Very large. But let's look at the fallout video of the chemicals falling back to the earth. Each one of these lines is from aircraft that day. It was one of the largest I've ever witnessed. Stand by here. This is offshore 6 nautical miles, and I wanted to show you how reflective the material is. No matter how the wind swirls around the boat, it's swirling around and around different directions because it's the high winds during, fishing, shrimping, and that's my trawl line where my shrimp trawl is on the bottom. But this is very intense fallout way offshore. My next video is inshore. But it was from a super heavy spray day. It was solid material. It has nothing to do with any volcanoes or dust from Africa. This is aluminum, barium, strontium, coal ash, and mercury, and many, many other chemicals we were breathing in. And my lungs hurt this winter. And my arthritis went through the roof. It has tenfold doubled this year. It's bad. I don't know what to do. But I've seen the side effects. This has arthritis in it, and it is eating me up. Everybody I know is in pain. I just don't do pain pills. But let me show you the fallout from inshore. Stand by. I'm going to let the volume play out on this. I was going fishing inshore for ladyfish because we have nothing else to chase because the red tide, so-called red tide. They did release Piney Point fertilizer plant, but they made it rain so much you had no choice. They poisoned our waters. But watch this video. I'll let the audio play like I said. I'm just sitting at the mouth of my river out of gear.
Try to get the blurriness out.
Shut off.
Alright guys, I am going commercial fishing. Heavy chemtrailing today. I don't know how much time we have left here, but I am not going to stop till I can't breathe no more. But we're in trouble, people. Heavy chemtrail fallout. Nothing fictitious. Not sands from Africa. Not volcanic ash from Canada. Chemtrail fallout. We're in trouble, guys. The air inside your house is not even safe to breathe. This is incredible. It's no moisture, no fog, crystal clear nights except for the chemtrails. Heavy chemtrail fallout. God have mercy. They are poisonous and I cannot get anybody to help us. Thank you, people on Twitter. I'm here for y'all till they silence me. Commercial fisherman standing by. I'm gonna let y'all ride with me a little bit here. Get going here.
It's a different type of light, that's why it shines differently. Other one.
Sorry about that, I was trying to get going.
This one's
Heavy chemtrail fallout. We're being poisoned, people. We need to fight this. Put down the games. Put down the games, people. We're in trouble. Quit fighting over politicians and race. We're at war, and it's them against the people. Just like World War II, we got to wake up, save our freedoms. Commercial fishermen standing by.
This is live over the Gulf of Mexico, Yucatan Peninsula, waves, chemtrails. I've been running those mullet boats, that last boat you've seen, since I was 18 years old. I have watched many a moonrise and sunset in my life, and never have I ever seen the skies look like that. Never seen X's in our skies like we see now. Heavy chemtrail operation. Some kind of machine. Anywhere there's lightings, I almost always see these ripples creating this. Let's put it in motion the last 2 hours. It's all funny. Let's look at that for the last 2 hours. What has that been doing? Very unusual. Really amplified it. It created clouds. Watch clouds pop up. Right there. Your next storms are being built up, guys. Surprised I don't see it in Texas yet. What, are they going to give you a break? They can light up these storms anytime they want, anywhere they want. Not a drop of rain falls without these people's permission. Anyhow. Alright, let me see what else I can find. Yeah, it's full of information. You can see them riffles still. Full information there I just gave you on the chemtrail fallout and actual chemtrails in the sky, but maybe we'll listen to the scientists a little bit.
Never forget, this bill in 2001 referred to chemtrails as an exotic weapon. Again, this is HR, stands for House of Representatives, HR 2977, okay? And this is about a bill to stop and restrict weapons in space. Scroll down, you will soon see exotic weapon systems such as electronic, psychotronic, and information weapons. 2. Chemtrails. 3. High altitude, ultra low frequency weapons, which is actually basically 5G-like weapons, EMF weapons, more like 3G, 2G. Boom, laser weapons.
Well, instead of doing a rain dance, we physicists are firing trillion-watt lasers into the sky to actually precipitate rain clouds and actually bring down lightning bolts. This is potentially a game changer.
But this is experimental.
It's experimental. However, in the laboratory so far it works. When you have water vapor and you have dust particles or ice crystals, you can precipitate rain. It condenses around the seeds. These seeds can also be created by laser beams. By firing trillion-watt lasers, you rip apart the electrons, creating what are called ions, and these ions act like seeds, like dust particles, bringing down rain and even lightning. Go ahead.
Well, this fascinates me in part because, too, I remember reading the stories that China had used this during the Olympics, that the USSR had used this after Chernobyl to create rain clouds. I mean, did those really work then? We have some of these capabilities now?
Even in the 60s, the CIA used this to bring down monsoons during the Vietnam War, to wash out the Viet Cong.
Boom, laser weapons, strategic, theater, tactical, or extraterrestrial weapons, and chemical, biological, and environment and climate or tectonic weapons, which they have all of. This means they can make earthquakes, they can make hurricanes. This bill never passed. This was a House of Representatives trying to get the word out about this stuff. It's right here, plain to see. Look up these terms, look up these keywords, look up this bill, HR 2977. This is real, people.
The reason why we see this ripple effect happening in the sky is going to blow your mind. Now, this is what resonant frequencies look like when they are pitched into water. So different frequencies are being pitched into this water, and it creates different shapes and different patterns. Now, let's take a look at what this frequency does to sand, 4129. See this pattern? Looks very similar to this pattern now, doesn't it? This pattern happens because they are beaming ELF frequencies into the sky. And this is exactly what they are using to do this. It is called HARP, and it's run by the military. Now, you can literally go outside and observe this yourself. They drop chemicals from planes, then they use HARP to disperse those chemicals and block out the sun. All you gotta do is look into this stuff. They literally emit, they're spraying millions of tons of chemicals into the atmosphere to block out the sun. And you can go look up the hundreds of patents the US has on weather control and doing exactly what I'm telling you. This is what a normal sky looks like, guys. And this is what weather modification looks like. This is why you don't see skies like this in Mexico, because they banned weather modification. They put this right in your face of all of your favorite TV shows. Now, the reason I make these videos is because the collective consciousness is shifting. We could be one person waking up a way that will shift the collective consciousness and in turn take down our suppressors. They have been deceiving you your whole lives, and the real truth to everything is found within. Peace and love.
Some really great information there, but I want to play the next lady that also explains who's been doing it and how long. It's been going back since the 40s, at least, but I have evidence that goes back into the 1800s, actually. These scientists are nothing new. Stand by.
In the 20th century, clouds were seeded by numerous countries around the globe with various chemicals to produce rain. China was just doing this over the summer in Beijing to make sure that there weren't any wasn't any rain during the Olympics. But all this has changed dramatically with the U.S. military's secretive research and plans to control the planet's natural weather. This has not been given very much press, and we have to remember that we have a corporate-owned press where 85% of radio, television, and print media is owned by 5 corporations. So they're not going to talk about things that are of really serious consequence, and that's somewhat of the blessing, a mixed blessing of the internet, but there's certainly plenty of information on weather modification. The Air Force is on record as saying, quote, they want to control the weather by 2025, and we are not talking about just seeding the clouds for rain. Weather modification means, quote, any activity performed with the intention of producing artificial changes in the composition, behavior, or dynamics of the atmosphere, unquote. And as of April this year, there are more than 150 different weather modification programs around the world. Since about 2000, the Department of Defense and the Department of Energy have been spraying the entire United States sky with a toxic brew of chemicals and other biologic agents. Just want to show you something. We have two different kinds of trails in the sky right now. One are called contrails. How many of you know what contrails are? Contrails are what have been around from the ends of planes since World War II. These are very, very short exhaust trails that usually evaporate within a few minutes. You just look up at the sky and you'll just see a jet, sometimes with 4 trails, but it evaporates pretty quickly. How many of you know what chemtrails are? Nobody. The military and some commercial planes are spraying us with what are called chemtrails. I want you to look at the... And oftentimes, before there's a weather front, there are heavy assaults from these planes just before a weather front is changed and comes in. Military and some commercial jets have been fitted with huge barrels of at least 49 different kinds of documented chemical poisons. Among other documented ingredients in this toxic man-made clouds are pathogenic molds, fungi, weaponized viruses, and made in some places like the secret site at Fort Detrick, Maryland, which is supposed to be a cancer site, but there are a number of scholars and professors tracking this that have big questions about this. Barium and nanoaluminum particles. What do these do to the human body? Barium is an alkaline earth mineral. It was discovered in 1774. At low doses, it can act as a muscle stimulant. At high doses, it detrimentally affects the heart and the nervous system. Barium is toxic to all mammals, and that means not just humans. Aluminum, which is the most abundant metal in the Earth's crust, is known to diminish kidney function and destroy brain cells and cognitive function. Just think about it. Just between the aluminum and the mercury that we're breathing all the time, we've got already a serious issue about brain function and cognitive function. There is also documented evidence that the aluminum in chemtrails is released as nanoparticles, and that when they reach the Earth environment for wildlife, in lakes and streams, it's causing serious problems with wildlife there. Researchers are also finding that nanoparticles interfere with the growth of plants. Nanotechnology is totally unregulated. Just this past month, a new research report came out showing and documenting for the first time that these nanoparticles actually go through the skin. Well, if you breathe them, whether they go through the skin or whether you're inhaling them, it's still a problem, a serious problem.
Now, for the warriors that are still standing by, I want to show y'all how all the radar systems, even the cell phone towers, in my opinion, but all their weather towers working together to control Hurricane Matthew. I'm going to let it play in full speed, then I'm going to slow it down. This is from the National Weather System. They destroyed the cold front and made Matthew bump right along the shore instead of letting it come right ashore like they used to, or like they should. But we'll slow it down a tad bit. You can really see how it destroyed the cold front and how they slowed the eye down to bump along the shore. It's just all computer generated, working all of it together as one machine. I'm gonna let it play one more time, then I'm gonna let y'all go. It's 20 minutes into it. A lot of information here that's undeniable. Everything I present is undeniable. That's why I'm not arguing with anybody. There's no denying that these technologies wiped out this storm that would have pushed a hurricane offshore, and they controlled it with their technology. Huge blast behind it. Electrifying the atmosphere, energizing it, and I'm sure chemtrailing, spraying, everything they got going on there, but us controlling the storm. Commercial fishermen standing by. Y'all have a good morning, a good day, a good evening, and a good night. We are all on different timelines. Commercial fishermen standing by.